All right, everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to go over the division property of equality. All right, so what I have next is a simple problem. 3 times a number I don't know equals 6. I hope everyone knows what the answer to that is right now. Hopefully you already know the answer is going to be 2. But what does the picture of this problem look like? Let's take a look. Notice, if I have an x, I didn't say I had one x, I said I had 3 x's, so I have to put out 3 x's. And if I put out 3 x's, what do those 3 x's equal? They equal 6. All right, so how am I going to get the x by itself? Because isn't that the name of the game? Isolate the variable. Okay, so what I do next is I make sure to make both lines look the same. Since this one was divided into 3 pieces, I divide this one into 3 pieces. And each of those pieces would equal 2, because 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. And each of these was an x. So when I simplify it down to just 1x, and simplify it down to just 1, 2, I find out that the answer is x equals 2. So really, what did I do here? Well, 3x's was divided into 3 pieces, so I divided it by 3. And 6, to make it equal, I had to divide it into 3 pieces also. And hopefully we all know that 6 divided by 3 is 2. And you get your answer. So this is the picture of the division property of equality. Once again, we can use this on many, many different kinds of problems. If you want to think about it in balancing scales, notice once again we have 3x equals 6. 1, 2, 3 x's, and 1, 2, 4, 6. Hopefully what you notice is that each of the x's would patch up with each of these groups of 2. And that means that when I divide it into 3 groups, each of these x's would equal 1, 2. I've seen people try it this way, where they take 3 x's on one side, they put 21 on the other. What goes in each box? An x. What goes in each box? A 7. And so 3 x's equals 3 7s, or 1x equals 1 7. So a couple of different ways to look at it. 1. I can divide by 3, or what if I multiplied by 1/3? Notice 1/3 times 3 would also equal 1. And once again, I get 1 times x equals 7, or x equals 7. I could use the box method where each x equals a 7, and we get to our rule. Most people learn to solve a one-step multiplication equation. Divide both sides of the equation by the identical number that is on the same side of the equation as the variable. And hopefully, that helps you out a little bit more now. So, how am I going to solve this problem? Well, I need to divide by the same number that's on the side with the variable. And I need to divide by the exact same number because I have 4 x's. I want to divide this into 4 groups so that each group has 1 x. So if I divide by 4, I have to divide the other side by 4. That gets me 1 x in each box. And now I just have to do some work off to the side. And if I divide properly, I end up getting my answer. 86 hundredths. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Once again, this is one of those very important things that once kids get the hang of it, they'll use it for the rest of their math career. What if I had fractions? Well, I do the exact same thing. Notice, I can divide by 3/4. Gets me a fancy form of 1. And now I have a problem that's 2/5 divided by 3/4. I can rewrite that off to the side. Notice, since this means divide, I can just substitute in a different division problem. How do I solve this? Well, I keep the first fraction the same, I change the multiplication, and take the reciprocal. Now I just multiply straight across, and I get my answer. Hopefully what you're noticing is for integers, for decimals, or fractions, you're doing the exact same thing every single time. Some people may like to do a shortcut though, so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to show you the shortcut also. Notice the original problem. Notice I was able to isolate the variable by getting this one big fancy form of 1. What if I multiplied by 4/3? Do you see the fancy forms of 1 that I have here? And now if I multiply straight across, I still get the exact same answer. Both ways work every single time. All right, you guys, try this one. Okay, I'm back. All right, did you divide by 2/3 and divide by 2/3? Then did you do some work off to the side? Keep change and take the reciprocal? Did you multiply straight across? Oh, I gave away the punchline. I'll have to rearrange this. But when you multiply straight across, you end up getting -12 over 14. Did you remember to simplify? Very good. All right. Did you do it this way? Multiply straight across, and then you divide. All right, so that's the lesson for today. If you've got any questions, please feel free to let me know. And everyone, have a great night.